Hi everybody, welcome to live sessions for Tuesday. Sorry we didn't have one last week. Some things happened, so I wasn't able to do it. But this week, oh gosh, we have one of the coolest new artists here in Seattle. And I'm so excited to share their music with you guys because they are just fantastic. If you haven't heard of them, you have to check them out. They're called Terra Nobody. And they just are like the coolest duo. I wish I was as cool as them. So, without further ado, let's bring them on.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello, Queen.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. You look amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to not look like a bum like I did in the beginning when I first did this.
Yeah.
I was just in t-shirts and jeans and whatever, and then I was like, oh, and then I went to Fremont Friday, and like 5 people in one night recognized me, and I was like, oh, that's kind of serious, and so I started like looking nice after that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that is a thing, huh? I am a thing.
Coming out of like quarantine and stuff where we're just like the sweats and all of that, the t-shirt, that's been the look.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real. And I was rocking it everywhere. So I feel like they can't blame me for it, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to have you guys on. I mean, talk about just like the coolest duo. Like I said, like I love you guys. I think you guys are awesome, and we met in person, and so I've gotten to know you a little bit, but I would like you guys to kind of tell everybody like where you're from and like how you got together as a group, and all that good stuff.
Definitely. Well, first off, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Be
part of this.
Yeah, we love that you put on for the local scene. Like seriously, I think Seattle's really up and coming now. Like,
it is, yeah.
We kind of have ebbs and flows, I feel like, and we're kind of on the uptick. So
yeah, I feel that too.
Yeah, especially because we moved here from Portland in May last year. Surprisingly, it was cheaper to live here than it was in Portland because of like,
what?
Yeah, it was just because of all the pandemic stuff going on. Like,
yeah.
Like months free on rent and a great price. So we're like, yeah, Seattle, that's doable. We're already getting restless, and before that we had already started the band. So we started in quarantine. We used to do travel work together, and during the height of the pandemic, there was a really serious fire that started happening in September. I don't know if you remember, in 2020. It was really bad down in Oregon and down near Portland. So it was so smoky that like we couldn't barely like breathe properly inside. So we left. We ended up getting a shuttle bus and drove that to New Orleans. And actually just outside of New Orleans in Mississippi is where we officially started the band. And we were like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Our origin story, our lowest low when it came to traveling.
Yeah.
And it was like, I feel like a lot of people during the pandemic, as sad as it has been, because like it affected a lot of people, on such a deep level. It also gave a lot of people, especially artists, like a chance to stop and be like, okay, we need to refocus. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And it gave us that opportunity to ask ourselves, like, what do we really want to do? And like Brett said, it was like, not this anymore.
For sure.
James, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Hey.
About to go on tour.
Yeah, man's about to go on tour. But yeah, so anyways, we started the band there. Allie already had the name locked and loaded, and when she said it, I was just like, we're starting the band. Terra Nobody? Okay, yeah. We had written a couple songs already. We were writing music, like unofficially, just for fun. As said the name, I was like, it's a project. It's serious now.
So yeah. That leads to the next question. Where did the name come from?
So when we had our downtime to evaluate like what we were going to do with our lives, I was like, he has an aunt who makes jewelry, and they like live out in Eastern Washington. It's like beautiful out there. I was like already envisioning like I could do that. Like, so I was kind of playing with names for my like jewelry project that I was gonna do.
So glad you didn't end up doing that.
I know, me too, because it's really hard. Like, you know,
Me too. Me three.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that the music that we're making together is a lot better than the bracelets you would have made. So,
but now we know you have a side gig, right? So that's your side hustle if we need it.
On the look at Terra Nobody jewelry. It's gonna happen someday when I'm retired. But yeah, so it kind of started out, funnily enough, as like this like imaginary jewelry project that I was gonna have. But the first part of it, so Terra, we're both from the Pacific Northwest. We're absolutely in love with nature. Anytime that we can get reconnected with the earth, like we take that opportunity. Obviously, like we used to travel, and like that was like our thing. Really filled us up. So I think that that's kind of our like soul right there, is like you can't forget where you came from, kind of thing. And then the nobody is kind of our constant reminder to remind us that like, no matter who you are, no matter what your status is, how much money you are, like, that you have in your bank account, it's like everybody's a nobody. Literally, all of this, like these titles that we give ourselves, it's all fabricated. So it's kind of our ego check, you know?
A constant reminder, and So we try and just remind ourselves that we're nobody and everybody all at once. You know? Yeah.
That's a really awesome concept, you guys. Like that's so deep.
Thank you.
I was not thinking it was going to be that deep. I'm going to be really honest with you.
Yeah, what do you think it was?
I mean, I thought it was like your middle name or something, or like a name you liked, and then like the nobody was just kind of tacked on, you know? Like I'm just not, it's just nobody, you know? Terra's just nobody, you know? Like, because, okay, I had this friend that had they were a local act way back, like 12 years ago, named Ellen Says No. And the only reason why they named it that was because their sister, his name Ellen, his sister's name Ellen, and she just kept saying no to all their band names. He's like, well, why don't we just name it Ellen Says No? And that's
I love that.
That's a great band name.
That's a great band name.
That's a great band name story, too.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, so I kind of adapted that thought process to this. I'm like, it's probably just something as simple as that, you know? Like, turns out I was totally wrong.
I mean, yeah, not all great names have to come like, I don't know, like an epiphany moment. Like, like I don't know, it's just like, oh, there's a shoe right there. Yeah. And there's some sticks. Shoe stick. There we go. We have a band.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. There are some pretty terrible band names, so I mean, I feel like you guys are on the high list of actually.
Thank you. Came up with it.
There are some pretty terrible band names, aren't there?
Yeah, so many.
There really are. Oh my God.
Oh, man.
A lot of them, a lot of messages from them, and I'm like, I don't know.
Already know.
Endorse this band.
You might be the best band in the world, but I just can't get past the
I'm
name.
like, I can't do this name.
Oh yeah, definitely feel that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I really wanted to bring you guys on because I think you fit the vibe of like what I am about on this channel, and I know we're kind of a part of a bigger thing, but I just really feel like you guys are so awesome, and just the music is like in your soul, and you can see it. And the first time I saw you guys play was at a Mojam. And when you guys were on stage at the Mojam.
That's awesome. Was it the 8-year?
Yeah, it was the 8-year. Yeah,
that was a good night.
That was a good
and I just, you know, there isn't a whole lot you can say when you don't know the music and what's coming, you know? So I was just impressed with the fact that you guys just kept it going without even like knowing, really, you know?
It's a hard thing to do up there.
It really is
scary. Like,
I commend you. I for sure. She keeps wanting me to come up there, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Oh, dang.
No way.
We could all jam together though.
I was like, unless you get people I know, I am not going up there. but yeah, so you know, I just thought it was really brave of you guys, and that was the first impression, and then you guys came down. And you know, I didn't realize you had known like everybody I knew, so I was like, oh, I guess I should get to know these guys.
They brought us together.
Yeah, so and which is awesome because I have I've just grown to really love you guys, and I love your music, and I think you guys just stand for what, you know, local music is and what we're trying to accomplish as a whole, you know, as independent artists. And
thank you. That's so
That's
awesome.
what I love about being a part of this, is because that's what you're doing. So we're honored to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So let's get into your music. How do you guys write music?
You know, same way anybody else does.
An existential question of musicians.
Taking one pant leg at a time.
Yeah. He's just.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we listen to a lot of music,
Mhm.
and I think that like, at least for me, I get really inspired when I listen to other artists that I really admire. And I'm just like, oh, that was a really cool like thing they did there. Like, because that, like, okay, little side tangent. There's this book called Steal Like an Artist, and I think that every single creative, every single artist needs to read this. It's such a quick
It's like
read.
100 pages or something.
And it kind of like exactly what it sounds like. It's like the art of how you steal art. But really what it is like it talks about like what having multiple influences can basically make you original.
Yeah, so my favorite quote from the book is, if you steal from 3 artists, you'll be called derivative. But if you steal from 100 artists, you'll be called unique and original.
So we constantly are just like, we need to listen to everything. And
yeah.
And get our inspiration from everywhere we can.
And especially after watching the Beatles documentary, it was just like they were playing every single song that they liked. It was just like, what should we write? I don't know. Do you just want to jam a song? Like, okay, cool. And so I've been like listening to all the music that I love, and I'm be like, oh, that's a cool bass line. I should learn that. And then I just start playing along with it. And you just pull all these little tools, and but the actual how will vary pretty widely. So I do production, and I play guitar and bass and a little bit of keys. Ali plays some keys and is obviously our vocalist. A lot of time it'll either come from a chord progression or a melody. So composition will either come starting from me or starting from Ali. And then, you know, it just flows from there and we catch a vibe.
Yeah, so you guys have the melody first before the lyrics then?
You know, that also varies. I feel like most musicians who write lyrics will utilize the notes in their phone to just like write I literally write every little stupid thing that comes up. I'm like, that's a song right there.
Yep.
So
that and voice memos.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now is so full that it's like, we can't fit anymore. Can you stop? Like, bitch, get it together. Take it all out. You know?
Worst is like when it's like, I don't know what to call this, so it's just like voice memo number 1, and then it's like all of a sudden you have like
153.
Like, and you're like, what the hell was this? 3 a.m. and it's like incomprehensible. Like, yeah, there's a lot of that. I think, I think that for me, it's like write everything down. Record every idea, because you never know what it's going to turn into.
Yeah, and that touches on the thing that you really dig, and I've taken from you, is that inspiration will come and it will leave you. Inspiration
is an entity, and it doesn't owe you diddly squat. So if you don't act on your inspiration or your idea, like, it's going to go to someone else. So I try and claim every idea because I'm greedy like that.
You're like, I thought of that. Stop it. It's mine.
Oh,
it's voice memoed in my phone.
Exactly.
I love it so much. You guys, it's much like me too, because I have a co-writer I write with, Katie Wade. She's one of my best friends, but she's also a really established musician in the area, and she does country music. And her and I are all the time like, get a voice memo of it, get it, it's gonna go away. Like, so our thing is like, it's a spicy nugget, right? So like, ooh, that's a nugget, or if it's really good, that's a spicy nugget. Write it down. Both of us have like just lists of like song lyrics and you know, stuff. It's amazing. But I always like asking that question, because it makes everybody phone. My phone is just being stupid. It just makes it you know, that much funnier, because people are like, I don't know what I do first, or this is what I do, or you know, and everybody has a different way of doing it, which is fascinating to me, you know. And And so when you actually get the thing that you guys are like, you're like, oh right, this is good, or this melody's great, or whatever. What's the longest time it's taken you to like write a song?
That's a great idea. Often, it depends. Sometimes songs will come in a flurry and like a fever dream, and then you just like it's all done in a night.
Example, Wicked is the Woman. I was raging and feeling a lot of feelings, and I came to Brett with that. It came together like
as soon as she started singing,
fast.
I just heard the music in my head, and we just like, and that was that. But you know, it to a demo, it doesn't take a ton of time. We'll usually like sit down and over the course of a week or something like workshop it. That'll be where it's at, or like a couple weeks. Maybe we just have like a little snippet of a chorus, and it's like 30 seconds. There it is, and it sits on a hard drive for like 6 months or something. Right. Really depends, but what we found that works like the best for us is we write the song and we don't say it's done. We want to like play it live. We want to jam with it. We want to feel it out. You know, you record it in the DAW, you record it in Ableton, and you get everything like all sequenced up, and it's all right. And then it's like, okay, there's your song. Yeah. But sometimes, especially because we don't have a live band to workshop each element, playing it live allows us that essential part of musicianship, which is play. You know, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be if you're doing it really right, there's no end goal.
Yeah.
You know, right. So we try and remind ourselves that because we have very lofty goals with our music and all that stuff. So try and remind ourselves like the only way to do it is to not try and do
it. No sweat.
I mean, and that goes to the point of like, you know, you can just, I think every musician in some respect is like a perfectionist. And so if you keep like playing it or keep doing it or keep recording it, eventually it's just going to get redundant, you know, and you're just like, what else can I do to it? And then it just gets too overproduced, you know? And so that's a good way of doing it, is just putting it in there, letting it go and letting it be what it's going to be. And then coming back to it and being like, oh yeah, okay. You know, like with fresh eyes. I think that's awesome, because then it's not like you know, like an overcooked steak or something, you know? It's like, oh man, now it's not mooing anymore, you know? Like, I like a little bit of moo.
I'm here for the food analogies.
Yeah, I'm very.
Heck yeah.
You're welcome.
I think that too, one thing that being a perfectionist, being a recovering perfectionist, I really have started to take notice with our music is that we're already making songs for album 2. We don't even have album 1 out yet.
Yeah. Girl, I hear you on that. Me too.
Dude, it's a lot of money to make music. Anyone
I haven't even gotten one. I got one song out. That's it. Yeah. That's as much as I had.
And we're like doing DIY, self-produce as much as we can. All of our self-record, our pictures, our videos, like we're doing all that ourselves because we're like, shit, it's expensive. It's not cheap. But back to my point, like we go through these changes as artists. So like we start to get used to just hearing the same songs over and over again. And then of course you go through the artist spiral of like, this is crap. Like, right. Song, I hate it. And then I don't know, giving it some space definitely helps, but it's difficult because you want to get your music out like fast enough to where you know you don't just like discard it. But then you want to like do it justice and make sure it's right as well.
It's
baby, right? I mean, it's whoever the musician is, it's come out of you, and in some respect that's your baby. It's a song that came from you. It's a song you've put your soul and your heart in. And you know, no matter what it is, you know, if it's a shit song, if it's a sad song, if it's a mad song, whatever it is, you know, even screamo metal, you know, I mean, everybody's got their heart in it, you know, and I think that, you know, and I can relate to that because that's how I feel. I don't want to put mine out yet because it's like, there's just this sense of wanting to like groom it a little bit and make it just the best it can be. Plus it's a reflection of you as an artist, right?
Sure.
And you guys are. And,
once it's out.
Yeah, you know, once it's out, it's like, well, fuck, you know, like,
right. I want to hear your song. Oh my God. When do you have a date for it?
uh, no, I do not.
Let us know, because I want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
I'll send you the one that I did put out last year, but
Nice.
there isn't any others for the moment. But we could get into that. But yeah, so I mean I totally, I think there's so many artists, and even over, I think, the pandemic, so many learned how to produce themselves and realized that they could do it themselves and not need a producer or just have somebody master it or something like that, you know? So I feel like that's a really smart decision on your part, because then you're in control of what the song is going to be and who it's going to go to and how people will perceive it, you know, because I think that's the most important, you know.
I will say that you cannot control perception, and that is a fool's
Exactly.
errand. That's the only, because that's been something that I've been like thinking about. I'm like, why am I giving so much energy to this? I have no idea what's gonna happen. Like, I need to stop about that and just do the thing I want to do.
But that's true, and you are right. You can't control perception, but at the same token, you know, you can at least control what you think people will see it as and how you want it to go out into the world.
100.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that you're going to control what comes back, but you can at least control what goes out.
That's it. Yes. Yes.
And so, you know, I think being able, that's why I like the fact that I have a lot of producer friends, because I can go to them and be like, you know, if I give it to somebody, they're going to make it whatever they want it to be. But if we do it together, I'm going to make it what I want it to be, you know? And that was what I learned in doing that song that I released last year, is me and Xander and Megs all sat there together and just knocked it out together. And she's like, oh, do you like it like this? I'm like, no, we need to do it different, you know, or something like that, you know? So I feel like you have more control, which as musicians, I think that gives you a little bit less anxiety about putting it in the world, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, I really respect you guys as musicians and how you go about it. It's really amazing to see you guys grow in just the little time that I've seen you, and the amount of effort and work you guys put into it is amazing to me. And I think it's a testament to you guys as musicians and how bad you want it, which is, you know, something that can get so lost in independent artists, because they get lost in, you know, trying to figure that out. So how have you guys stayed, you know, leading into, how have you guys stayed so positive and stick with it, even though there's the pandemic, or there's no shows, or there's this, or there's that, you know, life? What keeps you wanting to continue to do it?
It's a loaded question, man.
I'm here for it, though.
Got you.
It's just that we wake up every morning and we're like, what do we want to do?
Yeah.
And either, you know, we run from our purpose or we run towards our purpose. And there's a lot of pitfalls that come along with running towards your purpose. I've had a lot of existential difficulties and let things pile up, because it is all on us, you know. So that's the opposite end, is like, we have all the control. We do all the photos, we do all the video, we do all of the production. We send it off for mixing and mastering, but that's it, you know. We record it all ourselves. But then it's like, every little stone is something that we're carrying, and that weight adds up over a long period of time, and it can be a lot to deal with. So it's just like remembering the core of the why and focusing on the ultimate vision. Like, if you don't have an ultimate vision, then you can just be picking up whatever stones along your path you think look pretty, but like might not be, you know, helping you push to your further end. So like, we just turned down a show recently because of that, and we were in a period before where we were just saying yes to everything. And so I think it also boils down to the artist saying no.
Yeah, for sure.
True.
Has there been a time where you guys felt like you were done and you're like, let's go back to 9 to 5, because this is just working?
Literally about to say, like, all of the stresses that come along with being an artist, like, all I have to do is think back to that. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is fine. I can do this.
Because the truth of the matter is, it's like, you're either struggling for someone else's dream or you're struggling for your own.
Yeah.
You know?
Life is not without struggle. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
gonna. You gotta eat a shit sandwich either way. So it's just,
Yeah.
what flavor of poo are we eating today? You know,
Right.
avoidable. You got to do it, but it's definitely. I think too for me, like it's like I'm honoring my childhood dream. I'm honoring little me by sticking this crap out because I know, like, I've always wanted to do this. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that it's true for a lot of people. Like for the first like 20, if you go to college, maybe however many,
24 or something like
24
that,
years of your life, it's like you're dedicating it to someone else, and you're still under the rule of your parents or guardians or whatever, and it's like you don't even know who you are and all this stuff. So it's like now that we just turned 30, so that's cool. I feel like I'm just like, man, I'm trying to make little me proud, and I know that she wanted it back then, she couldn't have it, so it's like now it's like,
yeah, that's amazing.
Not gonna happen.
And speaking to that too, I always like to say, anybody who's like worried about age, just like, I was not an adult until I was 22, because that's when I moved out on my own.
Yeah,
then
we're
I
really
started living my life. So I've really only been alive for 8 years. Really.
Yeah. I can attest to that note. I've really only been alive for maybe 5 because I'm 39 and I didn't figure out my life. Sleeping late is my best friend and she can attest to this. You know, I haven't really figured my life out until like the last 5 years, and I think it's a great thing because, you know, once you get to that point where you know who you want to be and what you want to do, and you find the tribe that supports that. I can talk, I promise. Yeah, that supports that. You know, there's this drive, I think, that comes out of you at some point, and you start to just, that's all you can think of. It's like almost like an obsession, maybe.
A little bit difficult because of that, because every waking moment you're like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
I want to pick up the guitar. Oh, I want music. And then it just gets to the point where you're just like, why am I up until 4 a.m.? Oh my God. I forgot to eat lunch today. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
So it's certainly a double-edged sword in the
Oh yeah.
You know,
oh,
there.
Yeah. I definitely agree. There's that point where you're just like, oh my God, this is so much work. You know, like being that's why I like doing this show too, is because I think it shows how hard it is to be an independent artist.
Yeah.
You can't, it's not something you get into with a soft shell. You have to be able to really bounce off of, and even if you're working a 9 to 5 and trying to do it, you know, it's like, okay, like this is where I'm headed, and I'm going to work hard for that. And, you know, so many, I've seen so many musicians that I've had on here that are just grinding, you know?
Yeah.
You and I both, you know, you guys and I both know, you know, what that grind looks like, you know, and we see many of it in the little group that we're in. And, you know, I am so proud of all of the people that are there, because I think it shows a lot of what us as independent artists can be. We're just as good as the next guy, and that's really what it's about, you know.
Yeah, and I love that you brought that up too, because I think one of the most difficult things about being an artist is, unless you were lucky and grew up with parents that were really taking music seriously. Like, I even was a little bit lucky that my dad played guitar, so I had a little bit of a foot in the door. But they're both teachers. Like, it was never an option to like seriously pursue music as a career and as a life goal. So figuring out what that roadmap looks like of life is super difficult. There's no, advice. There's no predecessors doing it, laying the groundwork before you. It's just like, oh, I'm in the middle of the forest and I have to find my way out.
That's right. Yeah. And that's really what it is. And you spend a lot of your time trying to get through that forest. And then, you know, I mean, even finding this show, like, and coming up with this and wanting to do it, man, was it a forest in the beginning.
Yeah, I believe that. But, you know, we appreciate people like you, and especially people like Martial Law Band and a lot of the other people out here, because they at least have weed whacked a little bit. You know, they bushwhacked a bit through. So we have some idea of where to go. You know, people like Jimmy Scratch James and Shannon Shepherd and stuff like that, like they really like have paved a nice way for us, where, you know, traditional support system, like yeah, I got all the love in the world from my parents, but you know, that
Yeah.
that wasn't on the table.
Yeah, for sure. And I know there's a lot of artists that didn't even have that, and they just paved it by themselves. And
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
make independent artists also great is we all have, regardless of where your support came from as a child, it just stuck with you. And it's like, it stuck with me, you know, and obviously it stuck with you guys too. And so, you know, like you're saying, to the point of like, I hope I make my little self proud, you know, that's something that, hi Marie, that's something that he's another show that you guys should check out and be on.
Awesome.
You know, I think it's something that you know, it's this thing that we have inside of us that we're like, it never goes away, you know, and it never leaves you, and it's this passion that never stops if you truly are like a devoted, like all of us, you know, that are devoted to music. So I feel like it's just this really awesome thing to be able to put that in the world and show people that it can be done, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's not easy.
No.
Don't get
possible.
But it's possible.
Yeah, not at all. Well, do you guys want to play some music for us?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's do it. We got the disco light going here.
Okay.
I'm hoping that this is my main goal, being a musician, that someday I'll get endorsed by a tea company. Let me tell you.
Tea too. I love
so
it.
much every day, like four cups a day at least.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You and I should share some I got for you.
I love it. I used to drink so much coffee, and now it's all about the tea, baby.
I mean, I live in Seattle my whole life, and I don't drink coffee like everybody thinks I should.
Really?
Yeah, I don't drink it at all. Like I maybe once in a blue moon, but
yeah. It's just not for you?
No, it actually makes me kind of sick. I can't, like, something.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me jittery. So I'm just like, I have like my night, like I'll treat myself to like a cup of decaf like once a month, and I'm just like, ooh, I'm cool too, but mostly tea.
Yeah.
Cool. So, happy International Women's Day, everybody. This first song we're gonna play, we gotta pay homage to all the badass ladies out here taking all their lumps and getting shit done. You all are queens. You are a queen, Miss Thang. And yeah, the song's called Inconsequential. We're gonna plug in the nice sound here, so we won't be able to hear you. But you'll hear us.
Here we go.
Hey, check, check. Can y'all hear me? Excellent. This is like, what is that? ASMR?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Feel the lump in my throat and my skin is on fire, but my blood runs cold. Day after day, it's always the same. I never ask for it, but somehow I'm the one to blame. Oh, but not today. The eyes that follow me, I'm not backing down. I'm living my life, I don't care what is on your mind. Keep that shit to yourself, don't tell me to smile. I don't know you anything at all. You don't know me, I won't take your call. This body is mine and my mind is divine, and I'm feeling so fine. Thanks to you, though, you're inconsequential.
You can take your best shot, but I'm calling you out, not a prize to be won. So take your sideshow, move along, I don't go for you. No, I never will. And I'd rather be dead than be your friend. Don't tell me to smile. I don't owe you anything at all. You don't know me, I won't take your call. This body is mine and my mind is divided. I'm feeling so fine. No thanks to you, though. You're inconsequential. There have been so many days when I hide myself away, but not today. I hold my head up high because I'm feeling alright. I stare the beast right into space. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. It's fight or flight, so I fight fire with fire. You're done stripping my power down. Don't tell me to smile. I don't owe you anything at all. You don't know me, I won't take your call. This body is mine and my mind is divine. I'm feeling so fine. Nothing's for you though. Oh, hey. You're inconsequential.
There we are.
There we go.
Yay!
We can hear you now.
Guys, man, can I just rock out to you all day? Is that okay?
Please do. Please do. We need all the fans we can get. I know that. Okay, so fun fact: we're in our studio apartment.
Yeah.
This is where we practice. This is where we write. This is where all the magic happens. And I know our neighbors are probably so sick of us. The good thing is we're not learning how to play an instrument, so
Yeah.
it's not like we're like
It's
plucking
not
away on the keys or like the drums or something. Like we're playing the whole songs and we know them well. But
yeah, and so we run through the set, maybe only repeat a song like twice or 3 times,
Yeah.
so it's not super repetitive. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
no noise complaints.
It's funny you say that because I was literally thinking that during that, and I was like, man, they have got to have the best neighbors. Like,
So far, we really do, because everybody's super cool. They haven't had any problems with it.
I've gone back and forth in my head with like, should we introduce ourselves? But I feel like that opens the door for them to be like, you guys are loud. So I just...
Oh, you are the loud ones. Please stop.
You know what you should do is sneakily like bring them some like banana bread or something, like
With a show flyer.
Yeah, with our stickers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Well, you guys, did you want to play one more or?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do another.
Yeah. Here.
Let's do Running on Empty.
Yeah.
And then if we have time later on, we can do our single. But if
this is our next single.
This is our next single.
Yeah.
And if we don't have time, that's okay, because the other song that we're gonna play is already on iTunes and Spotify and all that. So that one's easy to go and find.
Yes.
And actually, the last one that we just played is on YouTube. So we do these live from the studio apartment videos, and so we just film them right here and play our songs, not unlike this. And yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna set the mood and turn this light off.
Oh, good one. Yeah, that's the way.
Oh boy.
I like
much better.
Colors.
So much better.
Yes.
So much better. We should have done this from the top.
We're fools.
That's
Too many things. Too many hats. That's when you know you're wearing.
Yeah.
You're my kind of people. It's okay.
Okay. Brett's gonna get real nasty with this guitar.
I just got a new pedal, so.
Do it.
Right.
Okay, let's get it.
Yeah. All right. You're going silent again.
Check, check. There we go. Hey. Yep. We're gonna keep going. Technical difficulties. Welcome to the edge, to the beginning and the end, where we find the place of harmony, fade into oblivion. This is the world we are living in. All my bones grow tired, all these lies to decipher. Watch them crash and collide and collide. Oh, they collide, collide. Hello, shapeshifter. I think I get the picture. Look me in the eye, but you'll never see me crying. Nothing is real except everything you feel. Leave it out on the table. I'm out here hungry, running on empty. Lions on the rise, the light of burning eyes. Only candles in the dark can only go so far. I'll get dressed in wool, pay no mind, I know it's tantalizing, so mesmerizing. Oh, hello, shapeshifter. I think I get the picture. Ha, look me in the eye, but you'll never see me crying. Nothing is real except everything you feel. Leave it out on the table. I'm out here hungry, running on empty. Running on, running on, running on, running on. We spend our time searching for paradise. So I'm done. Ain't that shiny? We spend our time searching for paradise. So I'm done. Ain't that shiny? We spend our time searching for paradise. I'm done. Ain't that shiny? Hey, 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 come on. Hello, shapeshifter. I think I get the picture. Ha! Look me in the eye, but you'll never see me crying. Nothing is real except everything you feel. Leave it out on the table. I'm out here hungry, running on empty.
Love it.
There you
Okay, that is a jam.
back.
That is a jam. I'm just saying. I need that.
Thank you.
That is a
Thank
great.
you.
Like that's a one I'm gonna blow up in my truck. That's gonna happen.
That's awesome.
People
That's
really
like,
like that one. So it's funny because it's like such a like heavy song, but I feel like maybe because people can relate to it so much that people rock with it. So
Well, and my favorite. Okay, don't be mad at me, but my favorite part of the whole thing is the end. Like
awesome.
now and then that just like. I was like, yeah. Inside, I was like, yes, they feel me.
That's awesome.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are so amazing. Like, you're so clever and just so like awesome with music. And I think that, you fit the vibe of Seattle and like this, everybody just kind of has their own thing. And I love it so much. And, I thank you so much for coming on and sharing your music and just like being a part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Oh
this
my
is
gosh.
super fun.
Yeah, literally anytime.
Yeah.
We'll play for anyone, anytime, as long as our neighbors don't kick us out. Like, yeah, thank you so much for having us. Like, this is so much fun.
Yeah, I really love you guys. Do you have anything you want to tell everybody? Like, your
Sure. So we're playing a show on the 15th at Sunset Tavern in Ballard. We're playing with Circular Reasoning, who are really awesome. I don't know if you caught them at Fremont Friday, but they're like this fusion, jazz, funk, soul band. They're amazing. I love them. So I'm excited to share the stage with them. Let's see, what else we got coming? So that song that we just played is going to be our next single. Hopefully be out in about a month or two. Shooting a video for that. So yeah.
What else? Where are our stickers?
We got stickers.
Where are our stickers? Our first set of merch just came in. Yeah. And I'm really stoked because I designed them.
Yeah.
Our very first set of stickers. So there we go. Get the light. So anyone who comes to the show will have those for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably more, but
no, that's probably about the most immediate. So we got the show on the 15th. We have a single coming out. Just follow us here on IG. We're doing stuff every day. We're posting all the time.
All the time.
It's hard not to see what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, I just appreciate you guys. I love you, as I said. And, everybody, please go follow them. If you don't know, they're up here. Just go follow them and, support and love them and give them some streams. And if you're in the Seattle area, go see them on the 15th. Let's show up and, just keep supporting our local artists like these guys. And yay. So thank you. I love you.
Thank you. We love you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.